Welcome back, everybody, to the FighterSource.tv pre-show interviews. I'm here, standing here now with four-time All-American Ed Ruth. Ed, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, thank you.
Listen, when I first started MMA, it went through a lot of transitions. First, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was hands down the most dominant sport for combat sports, winning a lot with submissions. Then it kind of moved to striking. Now and for a long time, it's been wrestlers extremely dominant in the sport. Can you tell me why that is, or why do you think that is?
In my opinion, just being a wrestler myself, I think that wrestling is probably the hardest sport out there that you can do.
I agree with you, by the way. 100% agree with you.
And it's just, our sport, it just makes us mentally, physically prepared for just about anything. And it goes so well along the lines with MMA. You have to lose weight. Then you have to go out there, you have to perform.
Right.
You have to put the weight back on. Everything, it kind of goes hand in hand with wrestling.
Right.
And, our mentality, we're just so prepped mentally already, just because doing wrestling in itself is just, the sport is not a normal sport. You got to have something a little special to be good at it.
Right. It makes sense. It's an easy transition from going from wrestling, where you already have to cut weight, you already have to be mentally prepped, to go into a combat sport, just to transition right into MMA. It just flows.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're right. So now with the Olympics being that big, huge thing a year ago, now them okaying it to be an Olympic sport again and to keep it in the Olympics. What is the health of wrestling like? Is everyone still, hoorah wrestling still now with it, or is it kind of died down a little? What's the health and the state of wrestling as a sport?
When it comes to wrestling, I never really realized the health of the sport until it was actually threatened in the Olympics.
Right.
As soon as they threatened it, then all these people started stepping up. All these guys who are wrestling fans, even if you wasn't one, you became one. And I feel like the health of the sport right now is overall, it's healthy. It's probably better than it was before, because everybody just kind of collaborated together just to keep the sport in the Olympics.
Right.
And just the fact that they reinstated it says so much about the sport. I mean, it's the oldest sport in the history of sports. How can you take that out of the Olympics?
Exactly. That was my big thing, man. It's the oldest sport in the world. I mean, that's what we originally started with, was wrestling. I mean, that's man-to-man physical wrestling. I mean, that's where it comes down to, man, right? So what is next for you with either MMA, with wrestling, with life? What's next for Ed Ruth?
For me, my window right now is just it can go any way. I want to go for the Olympics, of course, and then I do want to get in the cage. I'm really thirsty to get in the octagon. So for me, I'm kind of just taking it month by month.
Gotcha.
But honestly, there could be a really strong chance people could see me in the octagon a lot earlier than they expected.
Yeah, that's what I like. That's what I wanted to hear. That's what I was trying to get at you. I want to see you in this cage, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Ed, thank you very much for being on the show, man. I appreciate it. Folks at home, stay tuned. We'll be right back after this commercial break. Again, don't forget to live tweet us. I'm at Silverback Seth, and then you have at Announcer MMA for Chris Garrity. We'll see you right back after these words.